Hi there, I'm Faith Ramadivana, Head of Facilitation at Camp 180. I work directly with learners during in-person and digital session, helping making the learning environment active, engaging, and welcoming for everyone. Welcome back to our Python 2D game development course. I'm Faith from Camp 180. Before we start, let's quickly review lesson 4 homework. You created a new Python file, asked the user for their name, age, and favorite hobby, and printed a message combining all three. Well done if you completed it. Today we'll take a closer look at data types, the kind of information Python can store, and learn how to write comments in your code. By the end of this lesson, you will know how to handle different data types and make your code easier to read and maintain. What are data types? Data types tell Python what kind of information is being stored. The most common types are number 1, string, text enclosed in quotes, example Faith, integers, whole numbers, example 25, float, numbers with decimal, example 3.1, boolean, true or false values, example true. Python uses these types to decide what operations are allowed. For example, you can add numbers together, but you cannot add a number to a string without converting it first. In your Python file, you can experiment with these types. First, we have a string. A string is just a piece of text, like someone's name. For example, we can imagine a name called Faith. When we tell the computer to say hello to Faith, it will show hello Faith on the screen. Next, we have an integer. That's a number without any decimals, like someone's age. For example, if the age is 25, the computer can say, I am 25 years old. Then comes a float. A float is a number that has a decimal point, like 3.14. That's the value of something called pi. When we print it, the computer says the value of pi is 3.14. After that, we have a boolean. A boolean can only be true or false. It's like answering a yes or no question. For example, if we ask, am I a student? The answer might be true. Finally, notice something special. When we want to show numbers or true or false answers on the screen, we have to change them into text first. That's because the computer can only join text together when it shows messages. Now let's talk about comments. Comments are little notes you write inside your code. Python doesn't run them, it just skips over them. They are there to help people understand what your code is doing. There are two main kinds of comments. First, single line comments. This starts with the hash sign. Anything you write after it is just a note for you or someone else reading the code. For example, you might write a comment that says this variable stores the user's name. Second, multi-line comment. These are used when you want to write a longer note that takes up more than one line. You can write them between 3 quote marks at the beginning and 3 quote marks at the end. Inside, you can explain what your code does in more detail. For example, you could write a few lines explaining that the next part of your code prints a greeting and that it joins the word hello with the name the user typed in. Writing clear comment is a really good habit. It helps you remember what your code does later, and it helps other people understand your work when your project gets bigger and more complicated. Let's try a quick experiment combining types and comments. First, type a short note that starts with a hash. This is a comment that says you are asking for the user's age. It's only for people reading the code. Python will ignore it. Next, type a line that asks the user to enter their age and store whatever they type. When you type this, remember the computer always stores what the user types as text even if they type a number. Under that, type another comment that says you will change the input into a whole number. Then type the line that converts the text the user enters into an integer number. This step is important because you want to do maths with the age. Now type a comment saying you will calculate the birth year. Then type the line that subtracts the age from 2025 to find the year the person was born. You are doing a simple subtraction, current year minus their age. After that, type a comment that says you will print the result. Finally, type the line that tells the computer to show the message you were born in, followed by the birth year. Since the message is words, you make sure to turn the birth year number into text before joining it with the sentence so the computer can print it all together. As you type each comment, you are helping anyone, including future you, understand what the next line does. When you run the program, it will ask for age, change the answer into a number, do the math, and then show the birth year on the screen. Here we take input, a string, convert it to an integer, do a calculation, and print the result. Comments explain each step so anyone reading the code can follow along. Common errors to watch out for. Type error: trying to combine a number and string without converting it. Use str, open brackets, for numbers. Name error: using a variable before it is defined. Forgetting hash or mismatching triple quotes for multi-line comments. Remember, errors are normal. Reading them carefully helps you learn and fix problems. Logging your progress. Write in your coding journal. Point 1. What types did you use today? Point 2. How did you convert between types? Point 3. Which comments did you add and why? Keeping track of this helps you understand concept better and provide a reference for future lessons. It's homework time for lesson number 5. Here's what you need to do. First, open your code editor and create a brand new Python file. Call it data types py. That's where you will do your work. In your file, ask the user a few questions. Their name, that will be a string since it's made of letters. Their age, that will be an integer, a whole number. Their height in meters, that's a float because it might have a decimal. And finally, ask if they like Python, that will be a boolean meaning true or false. Number 3, save each answer in its own variable. 1 for name, 1 for age, 1 for height, and 1 for whether they like Python. Then print out a sentence that uses all the information together. For example, Alex is 25 years old, 1.75 meters tall, and it is true that they like Python. Don't forget to add comments above your lines of code to explain what each one does. That helps make your code easier to understand later. Here is a little challenge for you. Try adding one more line that calculates the person's birth from their age and include that in your message. Take your time, have fun experimenting, and remember, comments are your friends. Today you learned about Python data types and how to write helpful comments. These skills are essential for making your code clear and avoiding errors. In the next lesson, we will explore basic math operations in Python so you can perform calculations and make your games interactive. Thanks for learning with me. I will see you in lesson 6.